Are alt values reliable? Today we are going to take a look at several cards from my collection here to see if the numbers that come up on the alt app are legit and if we can use those for pricing at card shows. For those of you that are new here, I really appreciate you stopping by. My name is TJ. I am the big sports guy. I am a big sports guy. So I appreciate you checking out the channel. If you haven't done this already, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and ring the notification bell. That way you will be notified every time we drop a video and you can check out more content just like this. For those of you that don't know, there are two main apps that I use when I go to card shows for pricing when I'm trying to buy something. I use Alt to check slabs and Center Stage for raw cards. These apps are nice because you can just pull out your cell phone, take a picture of the cards, it will read the data, and then pull up the most recent pricing from eBay and then also from some other sites as well. So it's convenient to have something with you that you can go ahead and pull up those prices, whether you're buying or selling, obviously. So today we're going to look at a couple different cards and see if the values work out and if we think that they're legit. So I'm going to go ahead and do this here. We're going to pull up the Alt app on my cell phone. I do have a few slabs here set to the side, so we're going to go ahead and look up a few of these to see what information we can bring up. So we're going to go to Browse. We're going to hit the camera icon, and then we are going to go ahead and take a picture of the slab. All right, so taking a look at the PSA 9 2010 X-Fractor, it looks like there are 29 nines, and the alt value currently is $193 for this card. All right, so you're going to just scroll down to the bottom of the page here, and it's going to show you the recent sales from eBay, the eBay auctions that were actually realized. So as you can see, there were some best offer, PWCC, eBay auctions. They were at $360, $399, and then $152, $161, and then another $300. So this is one thing that I wanted to take a look at here just to kind of see where they're getting the values from. If it's just the latest price that's sold, obviously this is kind of looking like an average, but not really an average, right? Because if we take 300 and 150, in the middle of that would be 225, but this has only got it at 193. But the nice thing too is that you can change this, right? So if you wanted to go 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, or the last year or year to date, however you want to do it, you can change that. It is interesting though, if we look at this chart here, we see this slide doesn't really necessarily represent exactly what we're seeing in the price at 193, because 193 is all the way down here at the low side of the graph. And then we also can see here there was an eBay best offer accepted for $300 on a PSA 9 as of November 10th. So if that was reflected in this graph, obviously we would see an uptick here at the end of the chart because that's most recent. Or here, I guess we can go by date, right? So there's November 10th right there, and it's got it at $207 on that day. It looks like there is a slight uptick from where we were at, like in this spot around the end of October, but even that was $204, so not really much of a change there. Only $3 from day to day. Okay, so the reason why I bring this up is because I feel like a lot of people at the card shows, especially if I'm selling something, they'll come up to the table and they'll open their app, they'll take a picture of one of my cards, and they'll go, alt value is $193, just to kind of start with, right, to give us a start point. Now, this is only set on a 3-month window. And if we go to the top of the chart here, I'm just going to double check this. So we're at $283 as of August 23rd, and now it's saying that we're at $193. So I'm curious to hear some feedback on you guys. Maybe you can drop a comment below and let me know. But when you're going back and forth on pricing here, I obviously want to sell it for the most that I can. You want to buy it for the cheapest that you can if you're one of my customers. So should we be looking at a 3-month window? Should we be looking at a 6-month window? Should we just be looking at like maybe the 3 or 4 most recent sales? Obviously, if you want to stay as up to date with the market, you'd look at the fewest and most recent sales that you can. However, if we do that, we're going to see the 161 auction on October 26th, and we're also going to see the auction for $300, or the best offer accepted for $300 on November 10th. So based on that, obviously the value would be a little bit higher. Like I said, if we average those, that would be about $210, $215, which is a little bit over the alt value of 193. But there is a little bit of gray area here, in the negotiation process and the buying and selling of these cards. So I'm just kind of curious to hear some feedback on you guys and how you would do that, how you would approach that. If the alt value was $193 right off the cuff, what would you offer for the card as your first offer if you were trying to buy it? And then if you were trying to sell this card, What's the lowest that you think you would take? Let's pull up another example here. We're going to go back to the Alt app, click the camera icon again, and then we're going to take a picture. We're going to do another one of my favorite cards here. This is the Tom Brady Downtown PSA 10 from 2020 in Patriots Uni, and let's see what kind of data we can pull up here. All right, so right here we can see that the current alt value is 1,024, but look at this up here. It was at $2,040, and then this red slide of death, as I like to call it, all the way down here to the current value at $1,024 for this PSA 10 Downtown Tom Brady. We're going to make it a little bit more recent here and go with the last 3 months. Same kind of thing though. You can see here we're at 1651, and then it slides all the way down to 1024. And then just note that pop count right there of the PSA 10s and how many there are as well. There's a little over 90 PSA 10s of this card. The other thing that I was curious about too was to see what the PSA app says. So I actually pulled up this card in the PSA app as well. Hopefully you can see that, but we've got the same thing for pop count. It shows 95 right there. But you'll note this value right here. The price guide from PSA actually says that this card should be worth $3,000. So this is my viewpoint on this, and you guys can tell me again in the comments section if you differ on this or if you think the same thing. So there are certain cards where I believe the alt value can be true, and some of the most recent sold prices can be true for, obviously the market declining right now. But there are also certain cards where I won't necessarily accept that, or I won't sell my card for that price. So with this one right now, I just checked too, and there's another one of these PSA 10 that's on auction right now. I just placed a bid, and I'm winning this card, a PSA 10 Downtown Tom Brady, with an hour to go, a little over an hour to go, at $725, which is absolutely ridiculous for this card. So this is a case hit. It's a case hit of one of the greatest players, probably the greatest football player of all time with the most Super Bowls. He's a quarterback. He's in Patriots Uni. It's got the Super Bowl logo right there. PSA 10. There are only 95 of these that are graded a 10 in existence. There's probably not a ton more out there that are going to be graded because there aren't a lot of copies of this raw that are available, both from doing card shows and searching online a lot. Tom Brady's my guy. I look at this stuff all the time. You can't find that card raw at any card show. I mean, it's not just like laying around. So I know people are worried about like the market and the overproduction of cards. If you're finding and buying the right cards of the right players, like this one, for example, there's no reason that the cards won't maintain and gain value long term. I think this card right here is an absolute hold. I would never sell mine for $785. I wouldn't sell it for $1,000. I've gone back and forth just based on what I paid for it and how much I paid to grade it and stuff, debating with myself about selling it for like $1,500 or less. I just don't see a point in doing that. I'm not in a position where I need the money right away to get out of this card. I really like Tom Brady. Like I said, I think he's the best investment in this hobby. I don't think there's anyone that you could put your money in that's a little bit better. But it is funny, though, when we look at like the PSA app, right, and it says that it's worth $3,000, and then the alt app says $1,000. Got quite a big gap there. So I don't know if PSA is taking into consideration the population a little bit more. Alt's obviously looking at those most recent sales, and obviously the market has dipped. I think we're going to see a point, though, with these cards like this Tom Brady, where if they get below $1,000, there's someone out there that's got more money than myself, probably more money than you, that's going to go through and just buy up this population. If 5, 6, 7 of these cards become available, they will buy them all. I'm actually tempted to do this myself. Buy them all and then sit on them for a while until values go up. Or if you own enough of the population and there aren't any more that are available, you can ask your price. I think this is a $1,500 to $2,000 card all the time in any market. Should go up, obviously, over time. But I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts on that. So just let me know, what you think about Tom Brady and the PSA 10s and the population on this card, and also that difference in value between the PSA app and what they say that it's worth, and the alt app, which is based on realized auction prices. I'm going to show one more example also of kind of what I'm talking about with the pricing and which cards I'm holding and which cards I'm happy to move right now. This is a good example also. So this is a 2010 Panini Crown Royale die cut. It's the gold of Tom Brady, and this is numbered 1 out of 25. So you'll notice when I go to shows and stuff, I price my cards. This is priced at $400. I bought this for what I think is a ridiculous steal. Everyone may not agree, but I think I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 to $125 for this, maybe $150. I posted some cards today in a Facebook group just kind of showing off some Tom Brady's that I've accumulated and stuff like that. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I've got a full showcase now that is full of Tom Brady, which I'm super proud of. But this card came up. A guy messaged me about this card and wanted to see closer pictures of it, so I sent them to him. I wasn't trying to sell those cards on Facebook or anything, but he just reached out and was maybe interested in this. When he saw my $400 sticker on here, though, obviously he had some questions. He said he hadn't seen any sales recently on this card anywhere in this price range. Totally get that. The other thing is, obviously being 1 out of 25, usually first print run holds a little bit more value than some of the other ones. You won't find this card available again on eBay. Like, chances of finding this die cut, especially this one's in pretty good shape, but finding this card of Tom Brady numbered to 25 to come about again in circulation, whether it's 10 out of 25 or 18 out of 25, whatever, to see this card pop up again, and chances of the price going for as little as what I paid for this one is pretty unrealistic. So obviously I told him that. I explained this whole thing. I've overpriced this probably. This is probably $100 or $200 too high right now for a price, but I would rather hold on to this card. I like Tom Brady. Like I said, he's the best investment in this hobby. I don't want to sell this card unless I get this price for it, and this is probably a little high. Like, realistically, I could sell this for $250, I'm sure, but I'm going to market it at $400 because I don't want to move it for that. I think that his values are going to continue to climb. Eventually, he's going to retire. He may pass away at some point. He's got a lot of money, so he might live to be like 300 years old. He might outlive me, but I want to have this card for a long time, and I really like this card, and I don't think that you'll see it very often. And that being said, if a Tom Brady collector comes along and they're very serious and they want this card or they need this card for their collection, they're going to pay up for it anyways. That's not why I'm buying this. I'm not thinking that in the back of my head. I'm not buying them to mark them up intentionally to make sure I can maximize the amount I'm making. But it's such a cool card and it comes about so infrequently that I would rather just hang on to this thing. So let me know your thoughts on that too. I really appreciate you guys checking out this video, and hopefully this helps for you when you go to card shows and you're trying to price out cards and stuff. Also, if you haven't done this already, make sure you hit this guy right here and check out these videos right here. We've got more content coming at you at least 2 times a week, so be sure to check them out, and I appreciate you for stopping by.